This video is proudly sponsored by Newtype. Tools, accessories, model kits, these guys have it. Hop over to newtypehq.com and use the link below to help this channel out for future builds. Hey, what's going on my dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to another exciting build from the good folks from Brookii. So, why don't we get started with the 1/100 scale VIC VIPER from the popular video game franchise Zone of the Enders Second Runner. And without further ado, let's get to it. Yo, welcome back my dudes and dudettes, another unique build from the good folks from Brookii. And if this is your first time to this YouTube channel, welcome. So I guess it's not much of a big secret, I have a bit of a sweet spot for the Zone of the Enders franchise. Growing up playing it on the original PlayStation 2 hardware, followed by the 2 ports on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4, this game was ahead of its time. Definitely revolutionizing the way how game mechanics work for fast-paced robot action, character design, character storytelling, environmental design, soundtrack, sound designs. This game was great, followed by its incredible artwork. And that was the reason why I bought this artwork, because I wanted to relive those nostalgic memory berries. But one thing has always bugged me for many years. I've seen countless YouTubers build Yehudi and maybe Anubis collectible toys and whatnot, but not many people have actually taken the time to actually build VIC VIPER. Now VIC VIPER is not going to be incredibly popular, it doesn't have any like cool little gimmicks to it, but its overall design is absolutely captivating, and at the same time it's very reminiscent of a very popular game that came back in the 90s. But enough about me nerding out, let's talk about why you guys are here, and that is here to see VIC VIPER. Right out the bat, the box art is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely a nice contrast between the whites, purples, and reddish orange. Love that color contrast, really makes this orbital frame pop out absolutely beautifully. But one thing that's really unique about this model kit is its gimmicks. Now, the hands are pretty different from what you expect from like a mobile suit or any kind of mecha. They're kind of like sharp and angular with small little sharp talons, but probably the most rewarding feature of this model kit is the transforming gimmick, and I absolutely love that little feature, followed by an action base. And strangely enough, this model kit comes with its very own water slide decals, which is pretty rare because the last time I built a Zone of the Enders model kit, it didn't come with any water slide decals. So I love the fact that they went that extra step to give you something really more to make this guy look really cool. Other side of the box art, nothing much there either, and that pretty much wraps things up. Let's take a look what's inside the box. As always, you are happily greeted with the instruction manual. Give you a nice, awesome, dynamic pose of VIC VIPER looking absolutely stellar, followed by the backside of the instruction manual as just a 3D rendering model of VIC VIPER in the actual video game. Now, as for the first page, get a nice shot of a neutral pose and flight mode of VIC VIPER, and the very bottom gives a nice lore story on how this orbital frame was constructed and who the actual pilot is, who is actually the previous pilot of Yehudi, which is Leo Stanbuck. Not Leo Starbuck, Leo Stanbuck. A nice little pamphlet that show you what you need to get in case you lose some runners. And then as for the instruction manual, it's pretty straightforward. The transforming part of this orbital frame is actually pretty straightforward and shouldn't be too difficult to construct if you take your time. Now, the transforming gimmick can look a bit intimidating, but if you follow the instructions very carefully, you shouldn't have any problems at all. But even most importantly, you won't get any paint scraping, so that is an absolute plus. You get some more shots of the actual transforming gimmick to the fighter mode, and at the same time, a good example on what you can do for poses, at the same time what you can use for the dynamic poses. A nice brief description on how to apply the water slide decals. But wait, there's more! As for the last 2 pages, gives you a nice beautiful guide on how to apply the water slide decals and how to do some custom painting. The decals aren't that too difficult to apply onto this particular orbital frame, but they will get the job done and make it look absolutely great. As for the color guide, these paints can actually be found in a local model shop or online, so you shouldn't have any issues doing custom painting for this unique orbital frame. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the most important thing, the runners. First, runners up are going to be these nice white runners that definitely have more of like an insomniac white texture to it, but they still look great. But what's really impressive is the surface detail. It's really amazing how they were able to pull off a 3D model and then incorporate it into a real world model to make it look absolutely authentic. And I gotta give Brookii a lot of love and respect for going that extra length for it. That's it for the white runners. Now let's talk about the ones that are more of a mustard brown. In reality, these particular runners are actually more like a gold texture. So anything like metallic gold or gold paint, anything that's around the gold spectrum, that's actually supposed to be the accurate color texture for these particular runners. Followed by some nice light gray runners for the back. These are going to be for around the head section, around the head. And then a nice little transparent piece, which is going to be the visor, followed by some more polycasts for the hip areas. And then a handful of gray runners, and purple runners. Now these particular purple runners are going to be kind of unique for specific areas around the thighs and the torso area, but they definitely give the character some charm with these added colors to it. Followed by an action base, which is absolutely great, emphasizing Anubis of Zone of the Enders. That's how it was named in Japan, so just work with it. And then last and finally is the water slide decals, which I absolutely love, and these guys are absolutely a dream because they were definitely an issue with Jehudi back in the day, and it's nice that it's actually included with VIC VIPER. So I put this kit off for almost 10 years, and now I'm going to finally build it. So the one thing I told myself when I bought this model kit is I need to stay true to actually putting proper LED lights in specific areas while still retaining the transforming gimmick for VIC VIPER. That can be a bit difficult, but at the same time I have a great deal of experience of working with LED lights. But most importantly, what are the areas that are going to be really emphasizing LED lights? And I don't really have any idea what it's going to be. Strangely enough, the LED features are going to be around the shoulder blades and at the same time the thruster area in the mid back, which is great. But definitely probably the most challenging area for me is actually going to be the transforming gimmick. How am I going to funnel all the electrical wiring in? Is there going to be enough wire to actually still stay inside the legs that won't strip it or damage it? These are things that a lot of people don't really think about when they put LED lights into lighting model kit. You know, you kind of have to think 5 steps ahead. Fortunately for me, I know where to start, so I'm gonna hollow out this area first and back of the thruster with the Dremel, and then once I get that completely hollowed out, and then I'm gonna do a test light up and see if it works and see if it functions correctly the way how I want it. Be prepared for a nice jump cut because it's gonna look kind of weird, and boom. Sorry about that. But most importantly, it's gonna be putting LED lights inside the shoulder blades. Now there is this one little plastic peg that's definitely sticking out, so I'm gonna use my snippers and cut that loose. And then once I got that freed up space, I'm gonna be sneaking in there a Pica warm LED light. Not too bright, not over the top, just a nice warm glowing effect for that specific areas. They don't really emphasize it on the instruction manual, but they definitely emphasize it on the video game when you played a lot as I have.
I'm just begging you to listen. Can you listen to me at all? Oh, I'm sorry, I just don't get why you're caught up in this mess. But I'm not trying to guess no more. And I'm sorry, I don't know why you're pushing me to the side. I just can't handle your pride no more. It's like an evolution in your brain, burning like a fever that you can't contain. Growing to your soul, I'll be as cold as stone, but nobody will notice cause you're always on your own. Maybe it's somebody that you don't like, will you keep letting them control your life? Don't you see you know you're gonna be alone? Why don't you take a moment to get off your throne and show me what you got? Instead of thinking that nobody cares and pushing everyone away. What you got? Instead of trying to convince yourself that nothing's gonna be okay. What you got? Instead of blaming somebody else, think you've got a little more say. What you got? Won't you show me what you got? Can you show me what you got? I don't know what I envisioned, but the vision could have been wrong. Wrong, wrong. I'm just trying hard to listen. If I listen, can you be strong? Be strong. There's just been way too much stress. It could be me, I confess. Maybe we just need a rest or more. And I'm sorry, I don't know why I feel like something is died. I just don't think I can try no more. It's like an evolution in my brain, burning like a fever that I can't contain. Growing to my heart, I'll be as hard as stone, but nobody will notice cause I'm always on my own. Maybe it's somebody I used to like, will I be running from it all my life? Don't you see, you know I'm gonna be alone. Why don't you take a moment to get off your throne and show me what you got? How can I show you that somebody cares if you keep pushing me away? What you got? Am I just trying to convince myself that everything will be okay? What you got? Instead of listening to someone else, could I have a little more say? What you got? Won't you show me what you got? Can you show me what you got? It's like an evolution in your brain. It's like a fever that you can't contain. It's like an evolution in my brain. It's like a fever that I can't contain. I don't know what I am missing. Are you missing me at all?
Alright, now that I got most of the little pieces done, it's now time to do some fine detail with Tamiya Gold Leaf. Now, I was originally going to use Vallejo Gold, but I like the color consistency with Tamiya just a tad better, and it pulls out the effect just beautifully. Alright, now comes the most second difficult part of this model kit, and that is actually putting LED lights inside the main legs. Now, the actual legs itself, it's beautifully hollowed out to the point where putting LED light wiring isn't going to be an issue, but just leave enough slack in there to actually give enough space for the wire to constrict and actually stretch out without damaging it is going to be absolutely key to make this effect work great. So, I'm going to take my time to hollow out the areas that I need to funnel electrical wire through, and then ring it all the way up to the midsection, followed by using 2 Pico LED lights for both thighs to make it look really good. Alright, my dudes and dudettes, as this video is wrapping up, I want to share with you guys my thoughts and impressions about this model kit. So first and foremost, I'm just going to get this out of the way. This kit was an absolute blast to build. I would highly recommend you check it out. It's drastically different from any kind of mobile suit or any kind of like third-party model kit. It is absolutely fun. But there are some alarming concerns about this model kit, and that is like small specific areas. For starters, there's no waist swivel. Shout out to Jobby the Hung for that. There is no waist swivel, and that's due to the fact that that area needs to be slightly and permanently restricted, because that's the only way you can shift the model kit forward and back to transform it into the flighter mode. On top of that, it actually makes it more sturdy, so that way there's nothing that's prone to breaking or falling apart. Another concerning area in this model kit is possibly the hands. Now, at first glance, they don't seem that too complicated, but when you actually put them together, then you're going to need some super glue and then a fine set of tweezers so that we can put them into the right kind of peg on top of the surface of the hand structure, and then let it sit and dry, and then having to paint it, and then having to connect it onto the actual forearm and then leave it alone. It's a lot of steps that needs to go involved with it, and it's a little frustrating. But the good thing is about the forearm section, it is not too tight, so you can actually interconnect it just fine in and then pull it out. Zero problems with that. Another concerning area was the water slide decals. I don't know, the fact that they were old, or maybe I didn't apply them correctly. I usually do the two-stage system. I apply the decal setter and then I put the softener on top of it, but for some strange reason it just wouldn't set onto the surface, and I don't know what it was, or maybe there was just a problem there. In either case, I had some complications of working with that particular water slide decals, but then overall I just kind of got used to it. But overall, man, it's still a really great kit, and I know everyone will really enjoy it. Fan of Zone the Enders, not a fan, trying something new, something different, great kit all around. And with that, that's the end of this video. I want to take this time to apologize so much. It's literally been 5 weeks since I have not uploaded any kind of content. I have been extremely busy with family responsibilities, but things are starting to slow down, things are starting to get better, and content will be coming back to you guys in a timely fashion. But with that being said, enjoy the video, and I will see you dudes and dudettes on the next build.